I used to live up north, and when I moved back to Portsmouth, people said to me, "Aren't you worried about coming back to Portsmouth? Aren't you worried about bumping into any of your exes?" I said, "No, not really, because I only had one that I was ever going out with for any particular period of time, and they're dead." Now, the problem with this is you can talk about friends and family members being dead, and that's quite normal. If you talk about an ex, you do look like a serial killer. So that's a little bit difficult, especially because I'm quite blunt about things. But the reason I'm quite blunt about things is, like I said at the start, I have had a lot of death in my life, and my first funeral was for my mother. And I was very confused when I got told off for trying to take a camera to a funeral. But I pointed out, this is the first time all of my family have been together in years. Like, surely, why can't we celebrate life? Like, I think that would be a little bit nicer. But from my mum's funeral, I've had numerous friends, and my ex, like I said, my ex, when he died, we went to the funeral, my brother and I, and nobody told us that it was meant to be colourful dress, that no black was allowed. So my brother and I turned up looking like Mulder and Scully, and I can safely say that the truth was not out there that day. When my old boss and dear friend of mine, Jay, passed away, I've just used the euphemism. You could have thrown things at me then and I would have forgiven you. When he died, his ex and a few friends, we all went to his funeral, and we were late, and we burst out. We basically walked in and Oh Danny Boy was playing, and we all started laughing. It's not funny, is it? You can't laugh at a funeral. But the thing is, Jay used to be late for everything. We ran an animal sanctuary, and every animal display we did, every school visit we ever did, we were always late. And so we thought, actually, we're honouring him by laughing. And laughter is the best medicine, I think, especially with something that can be as scary as death, which is why I talk about it and I make jokes about it. When I was in a previous job, I had a friend whose mother had also passed away, so we formed the Dead Mums Club. Don't know if HR really appreciated that when we were having a bad day, and we'd be like, Dead Mums Club, high five. But it was better than our song, let's all go to Dignitas, let's all go to Dignitas, na 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 na. Didn't catch on at the Christmas party. So death has kind of been with me my entire life. I see it so much as something that walks alongside me. Has anyone read the book or seen the film Watership Down? No, so it's my favourite film, it's my favourite book. And in it they have the Black Rabbit of Inlay, which is kind of their version of the Grim Reaper, but it's someone that comes, a rabbit that comes to see them as they die and takes them away, and it's quite peaceful. So I have that tattooed on my ankle, and I think some people think that's quite morbid, to have death running alongside with you. And I think, well, no, because it's a constant reminder to live every day to the fullest and to be grateful for what we have, and the mere fact that life is fleeting is what makes it so fantastic. Don't worry, we're on stage 5, skeletalisation. The great thing about people dying, that's not where I meant to go with that. But when people die as families, you do share stories about those people, and memories come up, which is great. And one of my personal favourite stories that I think of when I think of relatives who are dead is when I was younger. I was out in Spain visiting my grandfather, and I was dressed in a skirt and a halter neck top, and we came back from somewhere, and he wouldn't introduce me to his neighbour because he said that I was dressed like a prostitute. And this is horrible, but in a way it was quite nice, because apparently when my mum was about 18, he told her that she looked like a slut. And considering my mum died, as I said, when I was 10, I've always wondered growing up if I had anything in common with her. So now I know that we both dress like whores. It's also nice to know that my grandfather's become more progressive. He thinks that women should now be paid. And if I have a daughter, I can only hope that he refers to her as a sex worker. Although all of that is a lie, because grandfather is also dead. That's all right, you can laugh now. See, we've established a bit where we can now laugh when I say someone's dead. It's good, isn't it? So, when I was at Sylvia's, this is my step-grandmother's funeral in January, I was sat there at the wake, and I was looking around, and it made me think of weddings. You know when the bride gets her bouquet, and she does the bouquet toss? Right, and whoever catches it is next to get married. Sat at that wake, looking around. A lot of elderly people. Those flowers are pretty, aren't they? What would happen if we just picked them up and... What's the time? Crematorium's open for a few hours. We could squeeze one of you in.